This is episode 1 of the High Fat Low Carb Test Group testimonial. I hope I'll get my husband Mike to do some of these with me, but he's a little bit more reserved than I am, and but hopefully we'll see. I'm going to do a short as possible video every week to give my impressions on what's happening and the changes that are taking place. I'm documenting this not only for myself, but for the people that I hope will join me going forward. So this is week 1. My impressions of week 1 were that it was among one of the most difficult that I've had. While I have been eating a high-fat, low-carb lifestyle over the last 3 years, I'm not perfect by any means. And so one of the things that I did differently personally in this group this week was to really dial in what portions I'm eating, how much of those portions, and how I am applying those in my meals every day. See, this is my theory about not only myself, but probably pretty much everyone. Most of us would be surprised at the amount of food that we are supposed to be eating every day. People are so focused, and that's what I've learned from this group so far, from like newbies in the group, is that people are very focused on their calories or the specific portions and worrying if they're eating too much fat and, you know, all of these things. When the truth is, if you're getting the right amounts of food in the right portions, generally your body will run like it's supposed to. And so for me, on week 1, one of my impressions is that I'm definitely eating more food than I have in a very long time, maybe ever. I'm eating at least twice as many vegetables, and I have cut out a lot of the things. Actually, I've cut out everything that was causing inflammatory processes in my body. And believe it or not, I can already tell after 1 week a huge difference in the inflammation in my body. I have posted some before and after pictures of week 1. And if you look closely, and by the way, we're not supposed to weigh ourselves, but I haven't had a dramatic weight loss. But if you look closely at the pictures, you can see in the before picture the inflammation and puffiness, and especially swelling, especially around my gut area. This is something that until I saw those pictures, I didn't even realize. And when I saw the after photo of the first week, it brought me to tears. Because even at this stage in the game for me, I can still learn something. And that's what I hope that everyone takes away that's in the group or thinking of being in the next one, is you always have something to learn, and none of us have it all figured out. And so this week has really surprised me. The first way that it surprised me was by the inflammation just disappearing. I had 4 days that were really difficult. I was detoxing, and I know it. I had brain fog. I felt like I had the flu. I was dragging. I had a weird taste in my mouth. These are all things that you will experience when you drastically change your lifestyle for the better. Because most of us are putting chemicals, foods in our body that are causing inflammation, disrupting our hormones, and wreaking havoc on our healthy gut bacteria. And so we become inflamed, but we kind of live in that inflamed state. Like here's an example. People with autoimmune things like psoriasis, they think they have to live with that, but it's an inflammatory process that is caused because you are literally putting things in your body that are causing the inflammation. And I bet you 1,000%, if you dialed that in terms of what you're eating, if you cut inflammatory foods like grains, dairy, even artificial sweeteners can inflame your system, and you stop using bad oils to cook with, like vegetable oil and canola oil, which we call liquid cancer. I mean, if you stop feeding your body inflammation, you would be surprised how much different things will be for you. But often we go through a detox process when we do this. And after the first week, there were several people in the group that said they couldn't do it, and they quit. And I will say this, I am sad for them. Now, there are probably 468 people, I think, in the group. I'm sad for the people who quit. I'm sad for, if you're watching this, I'm sad for you if you don't give this process a chance. Please don't be offended when I say that. I'm only saying it because this process will open your world to feeling so much better. But it is a difficult process in the beginning to get through. And so it's like the old saying says, sometimes you have to go through a valley to get to your highest mountain. So that's how I look at it. Instead of looking at the whole mountain that I have to climb, I take it just one little rung at a time, one decision at a time. I will say after this first week that the most important thing you can do for yourself in a lifestyle change is plan. You've got to have a plan. And we'll talk more about that next week on week 2, and I'll show you my process. So that's week 1. Everybody have an awesome week.